Finding Nemo isn't just a cute Disney Pixar movie about a clownfish and his father's love. Behind the bright colors and fun jokes, there's a much darker theory, one that changes the entire story. What if Nemo was never real at all? What if Marlin's journey wasn't about finding his son, but about facing his deepest trauma? When Marlin first meets Dory, she mistakes him for someone else. And as the movie goes on, we learn that Marlin has a serious case of PTSD, complete with flashbacks and panic attacks. He is so anxious that he even resorts to counting the number of bubbles in his aquarium to soothe himself. But here's the twist. What if Marlin is actually reliving his own childhood trauma? What if the dentist's office isn't just a scary place for Nemo, but a symbol of Marlin's repressed memories? The colorful fish tanks could be Marlin's way of coping with his past, a way to escape the darkness that's been holding him back. So what's the real story behind Finding Nemo? A story of survival, of a father's love, or something much deeper, a story of healing and moving forward? That's for you to decide. This is the darkest theory about Nemo. According to one of the darkest theories, Nemo was never real. In the movie's opening, we see Marlin and Coral's home get destroyed by a barracuda. And while she manages to protect one of their eggs, it gets eaten by a fish. So then what? The movie makes it seem like Marlin and Coral had countless eggs, but really they only had two, Nemo and the one that got eaten. The word Nemo in Latin literally translates to no one. So the entire story could be interpreted as Marlin's journey through grief, imagining Nemo as a way to cope with the trauma of losing his family. Every challenge Marlin faces, whether it be sharks, jellyfish, or his fear of the open ocean, isn't about saving his son, but about healing himself. Now, I know this theory doesn't bring anything new to the table, but it's still a very interesting take on the film, especially for those who didn't grow up with it. If you like sad Pixar theories, stay tuned for more. In Pixar's Finding Nemo, Dory isn't just comic relief. She's actually more than meets the eye. Think about it. Dory has short-term memory loss. She forgets things constantly, but she always remembers how to be supportive. Always. One fan theory even suggests that Dory represents Marlin's suppressed memories of his wife, Coral, Nemo's mother. You see, Coral was playful and optimistic and balanced Marlin's anxiety. And Dory is the same. She is always there to lighten the mood and help Marlin remember that it's okay to be scared, but you can't give up. So in a way, Dory is like a symbol of love that lives on after death. It's a beautiful fan theory that makes you look at the movie in a whole new light. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video. Finding Nemo is not just a fun movie. It's a metaphor for grief. In part 3, the ocean becomes the stages of grief. First, we have denial. Marlin refuses to accept Coral and his children's death, creating the illusion that Nemo is still alive. Then, we have anger. Marlin lashes out at the dangerous ocean world, convinced it's out to get him. This is the reef. Next is bargaining. Marlin bargains with fate, risking everything, hoping Nemo will survive if he just tries hard enough. This is represented by the jellyfish in Crush, the turtle. Then we have depression. Inside the whale's belly, Marlin nearly gives up. He tells Dory it's over. It's clear he's depressed. Finally, acceptance. When Marlin learns to trust Nemo, he learns to let go of control, symbolizing his acceptance of his loss. That's why every character they meet along the way feels so symbolic. The sharks represent temptation. The turtle represents time and moving forward. And Nigel the pelican represents guidance toward closure. This movie is a masterpiece because it takes something as universal as grief and makes it a part of a child's adventure movie. This is the scene that made me cry. In part 4, Sydney Harbor, we find Marlin in a desperate state. He believes he's lost Nemo forever. When he sees the fish stuck in the net, he immediately jumps into action, trying to save them. But this time, instead of rescuing the fish, Marlin is the one who gets caught. This is when Nemo finally steps up and takes charge. He tells Marlin, "You can do this," encouraging his dad to let go of his fear and control, and it works. Marlin does let go. He trusts Nemo and the other fish to save him. And as the credits roll, we see that Marlin has finally accepted what has happened. He has laid his pain to rest and is ready to move on. The Sydney Opera House, with its sails full of colorful fish, becomes a symbol of hope and healing for Marlin. It's a beautiful ending to a heartbreaking story. Was Nemo ever real? Now comes the most disturbing fan theory, the one that takes Finding Nemo from a fun family classic to a psychological tragedy. Some fans argue that Nemo never existed at all. Remember at the start of the film, when coral and all the eggs are destroyed? What if every egg was lost, including Nemo? The name Nemo itself is suspicious. In Latin, it literally means no one. This could mean that Nemo is just a projection of Marlin's imagination, his way of coping with unbearable grief. The entire ocean adventure then isn't about a father rescuing his son, but a broken man battling his inner demons, using the idea of a son to keep moving forward. Every character Marlin and Nemo meet can be interpreted as fragments of Marlin's psyche. The sharks represent his anger, Dory, his memory of coral, the turtle crush representing time, teaching him patience, Nigel, the pelican, hope, guiding him toward peace. If Nemo is just an illusion, then the film's title isn't about finding a lost son, but Marlin finding himself. Part 6. Dory's true symbolism. On the surface, Dory is just comic relief, the goofy, forgetful friend. But in the dark theory lens, Dory represents Marlin's memory of his wife, Coral, who is dead. She's fragile, she's fleeting, but she's always there to keep him moving forward. Every time Marlin wants to give up, Dory reminds him of hope. This is similar to how someone grieving clings to the memory of a lost loved one. Her memory loss could symbolize how grief makes us forget the good times, but never completely lose the feeling of love. The most emotional proof, when Dory begs Marlin not to leave her, she says, "When I look at you, I'm home." This sounds less like a friend talking, and more like Coral's spirit speaking through her, to a grieving husband. It's like Coral is whispering, "Keep going. Don't give up." Finding Nemo is the perfect Pixar movie, but it gets even better when you realize it takes place in the same universe as all the other Pixar movies. Here's why. In Toy Story, the dentist has a fish tank full of toys. Some of them even look like they came from Andy's room. The whale scene in Nemo is almost identical to a scene in Monsters, Inc., where Boo talks about a big fish that she knows. She also knows about the outside world and how to get there. Which means that the witch and brave who carved those toys and Sully must be traveling through time. If this theory is true, then Nemo's journey is not just Marlin's story of grief and loss. It's a metaphor for every Pixar movie ever made about facing your fears and finding your way home. Do you believe in the Pixar shared universe theory? Let me know in the comments. Whether Nemo is real or imaginary, his role is the same. He represents hope. Every time Marlin wants to give up, Nemo's existence keeps him fighting. When Nemo finally proves himself capable in the fishnet scene, it symbolizes Marlin realizing that hope can survive, even after the unimaginable loss of his son. Because the truth is, grief doesn't erase pain. It just makes you feel like you can't go on. But as long as we hold on to something, a memory, a dream, a belief, anything, we can find the strength to move forward. That's why the final scene, where Marlin lets Nemo swim freely, feels so powerful. It's not just about trust. It's about healing. It's about accepting the pain and letting go of the fear. It's about moving forward and embracing the unknown, because that's where the magic of life happens. This is Finding Nemo, Part 9. Throughout the movie, the ocean isn't just the ocean. It's Marlin's mind. An endless sea of grief, trauma, and fear. Every creature he faces is a reflection of his inner battle. The sharks represent his anger. The jellyfish, his fear of pain and danger. The whale, the crushing weight of depression. And Nigel, the pelican, a symbol of hope, guidance, and closure. By the time Marlin reaches Sydney, he isn't just fighting the ocean, he's confronting himself. He's no longer the scared clownfish who just wants to protect his son. He is a warrior who has to face his past and all the negative emotions that come with it. And look, I know this sounds like a dark theory, but it makes sense. The movie is about a father's journey to find his son, but it's also about the journey of healing. Because when Marlin finally reaches Nemo, he doesn't just have the strength to save his son, but also the courage to confront the darkest parts of himself. The ocean may be vast and terrifying, but with the right mindset, even the biggest challenges can be overcome. Finding Nemo. Whether Nemo was real or just a projection, the ending carries one undeniable message: life must go on. Marlin finally lets Nemo take risks. He finally breathes again, and he finally smiles. If Nemo is real, then this shows growth, acceptance, and love. If Nemo is imaginary, then Marlin has accepted his grief, and the illusion of Nemo was what gave him strength to move forward. And that's the genius of Pixar. They left it ambiguous on purpose. Kids see an adventure, adults see heartbreak, and fans, especially in the USA and UK, see the dark truth. Finding Nemo was never about finding a child. It was about finding hope after tragedy. Before the final scene, we see Marlin and Dory swimming in the deep, dark ocean. The camera pans down to reveal a massive whale shark. It takes one look at Marlin and says, "I'm gonna eat you." But then it doesn't. Instead, it just swims away. Why? Because even in the darkest moments, there's always hope for a happy ending. And that's why this movie still makes me cry like a baby every single time. Now that you've seen the darkest theory about Finding Nemo, what do you believe? Was Nemo real all along? Or was he just a figment of Marlin's grief-stricken imagination? Drop your theory in the comments below. I'll be replying to the most mind-blowing ones. Don't forget to smash that like button if this blew your mind. Subscribe for more Disney and Pixar secrets. And share this video with someone who grew up loving Finding Nemo. Because once you see the ocean this way, you'll never look at it the same again. As a kid, I used to think that the ocean was this vast, mysterious place full of wonder and magic. But now, well, not so much. After watching this video, you'll never look at the ocean the same way again. There are some things in this world that we simply can't explain. The ocean is one of them. For thousands of years, humans have been fascinated by the ocean, yet we still know so little about it. What lies beneath the surface? What creatures are lurking in the depths? What secrets does the ocean hold? If you're brave enough to find out, then I dare you to watch this video. But be warned, once you see the ocean this way, you'll never look at it the same again.